right, I'm fully decked out here. I got my waders on. I'm good for all kinds of mud and muck. So let's go back and see what's cooking. You can tell this path is well worn. I've got it cleared out kind of quite nicely because we just simply have had to come back here so many times. So, beautiful fall day. And sun is out. It's about 38 degrees. So even if the water's cold at my feet, I shouldn't feel it with these waders. Good, decent protection. Now, typically, I'd be standing in water right here. This has almost always got 6 inches of water in it when the dam is fully intact. Nothing here. So, I'm going to guess that the dam is still intact. I just simply don't know why the water would have otherwise receded. So my guess is that the water receded because it's simply the half-inch of rain simply backed up for a little while, and then because we had such a dry summer, it just simply absorbed itself into the earth. I'm going to talk about a lot of water here because that dam usually backs up about a 5-acre lagoon. Okay, so we're seeing some water here. This is always treacherous. Hope I don't drop my camera. But thankfully I've got a lot of trees to. All right, so see, I mean, we've got some flowing there. You can see where the sun is reflecting off the water. So we do have some water backing up. Now, right back in there is another dam, a secondary dam that they've been adding to, and that looks like it's even been added 2 more. We'll go back and we'll check that on our way out, but the primary dam is what I'm concerned with. So we do have about a foot of water here. So maybe they did rebuild that dam. Now, when I say I breached the dam, I've been doing it for about a year after I first found the problem. And breaching the dam is hard work. These beavers are engineers. They pack it in, interlacing sticks that they've chewed and dragged into the site with mud. And it's really quite an engineering marvel. It holds up enormously well, tremendously well. And as you might imagine, it's quite difficult to deconstruct. You can't bring heavy equipment back here, so it's all handwork. And all you can do is just pull out stick after stick. Okay, looks like we've had some tree fall here. My trail is obstructed, so we'll have to cross. You can tell I've marked my trail with these yellow and red flags, but we've had a tree come down here. Not chewed, that's natural decay. I'm gonna have to come back out here with a chainsaw and trim this path clear again. That's another marker. Okay, now I'm at the edge of their lagoon, and it's still backed up. Now, not as much as it was when the dam was fully intact, but we're getting closer. I don't see any new signs of beaver chews or fallen trees, but that usually doesn't happen year round. Okay, so you can see that water is still there. So it has receded here somewhat. It's freestanding, so it's not like everything dissipated back into the ground. Now it's really quite beautiful. And it's a great place to just come out and sit and enjoy nature and the beauty of the water and the animals and the birds that take advantage of it. Somewhere here I have a depth marker. I don't see it anymore. I tied a marker, some fluorescent tape on a tree the first time I found this dam to mark the high water before I ever breached it. Now it looks like my tree and or my marker is missing. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. I don't know if you can see this, but right there is my breach, and there's the dam. Goes there, that's where I breached it, and it continues on for hundreds of yards. I've never found the end of it. So you can see they topped this tree right here. They very surgically cut this huge poplar down right on top of the dam. That's my marker where I know I'm close. That's my breach. And it looks like it's now overgrown with a bunch of grass from the summer, but that is still intact. Where's my high water mark? That is puzzling. Anyways, let's walk. Let's walk into the water. That's what waders are for. Yeah, so you can see this tree that they dropped. Let's go back to show you there. See how they chewed that and dropped it right on top of the dam and continued to harvest the branches off of it to plug their holes. So, now, beavers go through their lagoon in one of two ways. Of course, they can swim on the surface, but they have a series of tunnels, or rather ridges. They're not covered tunnels. There's ridges at the bottom. When they're traveling underwater because they're escaping danger or something, they leave troughs at the bed of the lagoon, and sometimes tunnels where so when you step and you suddenly go down, you know you just cross their path. I don't know if you can see. Let's look. So you can see the bottom of this lagoon. This is the surface right here, and that greenery, that foliage down there looks rather mossy. So it's all seaweed, very clear water. They've got a nice ecosystem here. So if I can cohabitate with these guys, that would be ideal, because I do like the wild wildlife back here. I do like sharing the habitat. And let's look up. So see, this goes a long ways farther than you can see. You're probably looking at maybe half an acre of open water, but the water goes way far back beyond these trees in all directions. But let's take a look at the dam. That's why we're here. So there's my breach. And this dam has really grown a lot of grass. And last spring when we were trapping out the beavers, this was all wood and mud. And now it's all summer long, since the water level went down, grass has been allowed to emerge here and flourish. But right here's my breach. And it does look like there has been some wood brought in. Let's get closer. I don't know when this might have happened. This could be just the natural accumulation of wood that's just going downstream. Wood that got caught up into the flow and then got stuck here. But it is an obstruction, and it is keeping the water levels in the lagoon where they are. Now we do have a little bit of movement. I mean, there's clearly water going through here, but there's a good bit of obstacles and obstructions here to keep the entire lagoon from draining faster. I could clear this out right now and see if it gets rebuilt. As soon as I would do that, the beaver would notice a sudden drop in the water level. Their skin, especially their tail, is very sensitive to water level. They would then come along and go up and down the edges of this dam and listen for rushing water, which would tell them that's how water is leaving their lagoon. They would find this breach. Then they would go back to their dens, and they'd spend all night licking their fur and making it waterproof. And then they'd come back, or maybe they'd spend all day, one or the other. I think they do most of their work at night. So they'd spend all day lubricating their fur and making it more waterproof. And then they come back and start filling up the breach here with mud and sticks. And as you can see, there's plenty to be found. So that's a beaver chew. That's a beaver chew. I'm seeing a lot of old beaver chews here, but nothing new, nothing fresh. I think I'm going to leave this. Number one, I'm not prepared with the right equipment. I've got some hand tools that make breaching a dam easier. This lagoon is really not threatening our property right now. So I would say we are at a height right now that we can cohabitate with whatever beavers may come in here and settle. We can live with them because they're not flooding our property. Sure, half-inch of rain came in, added 1.5 feet of water, which drained off in a week. And since it's November, we're not gardening anymore. I'm okay with that rise and fall. Once we start gardening again, I'm going to want to maintain that level and not risk a flood in the yard. And in that case, I'll come back here and see if this has been built up. And then whether it has or has not, I'll remove some of this to lower the level and just monitor it. So this is where I come to see whether beavers have reestablished themselves in this environment and repaired this dam. Now you can see here, this dam is probably 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5 or 4 feet tall, and it goes through the woods here. And it's probably, I'm looking at, I'd say 5 or 6 feet wide. That's a lot of engineering for them to do, to come and repair this. But they can repair this breach in 2 days, easy. And then once my water levels in the yard start rising and not receding, that'll be pretty much my confirmation that they repaired this, and then it's game on. All right, I changed my mind about breaching it. It was easy. I went ahead and cleared the brush out and the obstacles here. It didn't take me long at all. I didn't have to get my hands in that cold water, even though I didn't have the right tools. Just a few logs are holding it up. So now I've got a clean exit path here in their dam, and I won't. Next time I come back here, I won't have to wonder if there's wood here, whether it was here before or not, because this is clean. And we've got some good drainage. Let's walk in and I'll show you where it's going. Take you in a little deeper here. So this immediately, when I step down, I'm immediately knee deep. So it gets pretty deep right here after the dam, but that water's flowing into the woods here quite a ways. I mean, it covers the land for probably another quarter mile before there's property over there, residential property. So in the past, I've reached this dam to a much more significant degree when this water was much higher, and the resultant flooding of the woods downstream never really impacted any of my neighbors. So I kept good close watch and contact with them, even on small breaches. So I'd breach it and then give them a call and say, hey, did you have experienced any excess water? And the answer was always nope, can't tell any difference. And so I'm safe to breach this without impacting my neighbors, no matter what the level of this lagoon is. All right, I don't know how I missed this the first time on coming out, but there's my marker for the high water mark. When I first discovered this dam, I made a mark to record when this dam is fully active and fixed and the lagoon is fully functional from a beaver's perspective. That's how high the water gets. And so you can see I am now, that's a good 18, maybe 20 inches lower. But once that dam gets fixed, I've got a rise here of at least 20 inches of water.